Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike here, your friendly neighborhood cinephile, and it is day 94 of Award Season Review Season 2. It is our last week, and we are wrapping up with the rest of the best. I'm bringing you the last few films that are nominated for at least one or more Oscars at this weekend ceremony. Today's film is a little interesting because it does fit our rest of the best, but according to some, it's also the worst of the year? I'm talking about Lucasfilm Limited's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Written by a team that includes the film's director, James Mangold, along with David Cope, Jez Butterworth, and John Henry Butterworth, this film, adjusting for inflation, is the lowest box office take for this entire franchise. Now, in total, according to Box Office Mojo, this film this year made last year $174,480,468 domestically, $209,482,589 internationally, for a grand worldwide total of $383,963,057. Now, in comparison, the first film of the franchise, 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark, was the lowest with its domestic take of 258 $1,159,971.81. But if that were to come out today, adjusted for inflation, the first film domestically made $831,617,700, more than double what this film made in 2023. Little interesting. Now, award season wise, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is nominated for one Oscar, helping John Williams maintain his record of the second most nominated person in Oscar history behind Walt Disney as he celebrates his 54th nomination for Best Original Score. Now, the film was also nominated by the Critics' Choice Super Awards for Best Action Movie, and the stunt team was nominated for Outstanding Action Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture at the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Interestingly, as well, and these show the film's excellence, many felt in some ways it was the worst of the year, and Indy 5 becomes yet another film that lands both Oscar and Razzie nominations in the same year. The screenwriting team currently holds a nomination for Worst Screenplay, and the film is nominated for Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel, where the film was actually retitled Indiana Jones and the Dial of Still Beating a Dead Horse. Not my title. So let's get into this best action, worst sequel, depending on your views. The film opens in 1944 during World War II, where Indy has infiltrated a Nazi camp in France and, alongside friend and fellow archaeologist Basil Shaw, is captured while they try to receive an object known as the Lance of Longinus. However, they discover this artifact is a fake, but an astrophysicist known as Jürgen Wohler, working with the Nazis, has discovered half of Archimedes' dial, which is said to make time travel possible. Now, seeking to get this as well to prevent it from getting to the Nazis, Indy and Basil get the dial and escape the train, but not before the Allies blow up the train, whilst atop the train, Voller, well, let's say he loses his head. Jump forward 25 years, and the time has come. Indy wants to retire. He's become a bachelor living in a small one-bedroom apartment. Now, after the happy reunion we had in the last film, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indy was reunited with his love, Marion, and learned that he had a son, Mutt. But we learned that in these intervening years, Mutt went off and fought and was killed in Vietnam, and Marion is now divorcing him, unhappy with the way that events went. After retiring, Indy is reunited with Helena, Basil Shaw's daughter, and also Indy's goddaughter. And we learn that although there's a strange relationship existing between them as a result of a fight Indy and Basil had years ago, Helena needs Indy because she believes she found the other half of Archimedes' dial and wants to get the two together, though her intentions may be not quite what they seem. Additionally, Voller, who somehow survived his heady ordeal, is now passing himself off as Dr. Schmidt and is working for NASA, and he has his own goals to get the other half of Archimedes' dial, and he has help of the CIA under false pretenses. Now, what will follow is a globe hopping adventure where we will see the race to get the two halves of the dial to serve the purposes of all those on the journey. I'm going to end it there because there's just a lot more pieces to get through. And again, we try to go spoiler free. Now, I'm going to address the Razzies first. I sort of agree with the nomination for the worst screenplay a bit. Maybe it's just me, but with action films like this, the more complicated the plot gets, the less enjoyable the film is. It just has too much going on, if you even pick that up from my plot synopsis. And a lot of what I said was only within the first 20 to 30 minutes of an almost 2.5 hour film. The basic plot of two sides fighting for the dial would be clear enough without introducing varied other subplots of the fractured family conceit, the survival of the villain doing a whole Winter Soldier kind of, element, and the CIA, and also bringing in the space race and the connections to time travel and World War II. It's just a lot. I don't know if I would place it as the worst in the franchise. I believe if I were to rank, I'd maybe put that one for Crystal Skull. However, the layers of the plot it just keeps staying on track of the film, a little bit exhausting for an action film. And not to say that Mangold can construct this. If we go back, Logan was brilliant, and there is a reason that it became the first live action superhero film to be nominated for a screenplay Oscar. But he doesn't quite recreate that magic here. Now, for the other awards, the stunt work is solid, worthy of the nomination it got from the SAG Awards. And Williams, his scores are iconic, and he always finds the right way to balance and elevate action sequences without taking much away from the visuals that we are seeing on screen. Ford, always a delight as Jones. Mads Mikkelsen joins the cast as the villainous Voller. Another enjoyable villain to root for. Also, it was fun to see some Easter eggs or, inspirations from previous films. John Rhys Davies comes back as Sala in a fun scene. And, we learn that Helena has a ward who's named Teddy, played by Ethan Isidore, who gives very few short round a la Kiwi Kwan vibes to the film. So, Little Temple of Doom coming back. And to say, in the role of Helena, Phoebe Waller Bridge provides some snarky laughs and a great action scene partner to Harrison Ford. But aside from some nice action sequences and performances and a little nostalgia, the film is going to be a little forgettable. For me, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is only a 3-star film. Fun for the nostalgia? Nothing really more than that. So, if you haven't seen Indy 5 yet and you would like to, it is streaming exclusively on Disney Plus. So, there you have it. We only have 2 days left. Can you believe it? See everyone tomorrow as we begin to wrap up the rest of the best. As always, if you like what you heard here, please subscribe to the channel, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and Letterboxd and get in on all the cinematic goodness. So much more coming after the Oscars. I can't wait. But until then, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.